Hello students, how you doing? Are you fine today? So we are going to talk about the passive voice, but the passive voice in now form. So the passive voice, right? Just for you to remember the difference between the passive voice and the active voice, I'll write a sentence for you. For example, I can say that mice, the plural of mouse, ate cheese, right? This is the active voice. So if I want to transform this into the active voice, I have to remember that the sentence is in the simple present. So this is the simple present. Okay? For it to transform a sentence into the active voice, you have to use verb to be plus the main verb. This is the main verb. The main verb in the past participle, right? So in this case, you have to find the object of the sentence. So this is the object of the sentence. So the object will become the subject of the sentence. Sorry, this is the passive voice. Passive voice. So I have cheese. Now the verb to be is verb to be in the simple present because the sentence is in the simple present. So cheese is eaten by mice, right? So you can omit the you can omit the mice, right? So you have like cheese is eaten, that's okay, that's the passive voice. You have verb to be and you have the verb in the past participle, all right? So this is the simple present. So suppose you have the simple past. So simple past now, I can say, for example, the the cop saw the accident yesterday, right? So the verb is in the simple past and the object of the sentence is the accident. So how can I transform this into the passive voice? So this is the active voice. Active voice. Oh, sorry. This is yes, active voice. I'm sorry. This is the active voice, right? Now I'm going to transform the sentence into the passive voice. So what do you have to do? Get the accident. So the object will become the subject now, the accident. Now I have to choose the verb to be in the simple past because the main sentence where the active sentence is in the simple past. So I have to choose the same verb tense. So the accident was seen because I have to choose the main verb in the past participle. So the accident was seen yesterday. Or if you want, you can include by the car yesterday. So this is optional, right? So basically speaking, this is the passive voice. Now I have here an example of how to use the passive voice in other verb tenses. So I have the simple present. So murderers are usually sentenced to life imprisonment. Imprisonment. So I have the verb to be in the present and the past participle verb, right? If it's in the present continuous, so you have this here, the verb to be is in the present continuous, so is being held right now. The trial is being held right now. Present perfect, my car has been stolen. So the verb to be is in the present perfect and the main verb in the past participle, right? Simple past, I've just given you an example. So Jim was arrested last month. Verb to be in the past and PPV, past participle verb. Past continuous was being is the verb to be and rebuilt PPV. Past perfect had been and the main verb in the past participle. In the future will be simple past, verb to be and released PPV. Or you can use going to. Is going to be and PPV given. The infinitive to be base form you can be fined. You're using a modal verb here. And gerund, he paid a fine to avoid being sent to jail, right? So this is the passive voice, but you also have some sentences that are usually used on news, TV news, right? Or in the news. So let me show you why do we use the passive voice. We use the passive voice when you want to talk about an action. So the emphasis is on the action, right? But you're not interested or so interested in saying who or what does or did the action, right? So you want to emphasize the action more than the person who did the action, right? Or the thing that did the action. If you also want to mention the person or the thing that did the action or the agent, you have to use by, just as I have just given you the example. So prison sentences are decided by judges. So this is optional. Used by judges is the use of judges or by judges is optional. All right. So we can also use the passive voice when you have news, right? So in news reports, on TV, and then we have some verbs that are commonly used, such as know, tell, understand, report, expect, say, and think. All right? So you have some sentences like this. It is said or it is believed, right? For example, it is believed that we have aliens living in other planets, right? Let's see some examples in here. So you have the active voice here. They say that the company may close. So what is the main verb? The main verb is say, right? So now you have an expression in the passive voice. You can say it is said that the company may close. Now you have another sentence in the active voice, and then you have the verb think. People think that prices will go up. Now you're going to use the same verb, but in the past participle in the passive voice. It is thought that prices will go up. Again, you have the verb say. People say the man is in his 40s. The man is said to be in his 40s. So you can start now the sentence with the man, right? Or the same case here. The police believe he has left the country, or he is believed to have left the country. This is really formal, okay? But just for you to have an idea of how to use the passive voice. They think he robbed a bank. He is thought to have robbed a bank, right? So I'll give you some examples. I'll ask you to transform those sentences into the passive voice. For example, the police caught the burglar immediately. So you're gonna get the object. The burglar was caught immediately. Why you're using verb to be was? Because the main verb here is in the past, and you have to agree the burglar with the verb to be. You cannot say were because this is singular. Okay? Let's do number 1 together. Police closed off the street after the accident. So I'll give you the beginning of the sentence. You have to transform it. So the street, you see, I'm just making it easy for you. The street. So the street So this is past, right? So I have to choose the verb in the past. Verb to be in the past. The street was closed off. So the street was closed off after the accident. All right. So number 2, somebody has stolen my handbag. So you have to get the main verb. I mean, you have to take a look at the verb tense. So has stolen is in the present perfect. So you have to choose the verb to be in the present perfect as well. My handbag, the object of the sentence, will become the subject. So my handbag, verb to be now in the present perfect, has been stolen. Okay? Another sentence. My house. I mean, number 3. The painters are painting my house. Verb to be. I mean, the main verb is in the present continuous, right? Are painting. So you get the object, my house. Now verb to be in the present continuous is being painted. Painted. Okay, PPV. All right. I'll give you a chance now for you to finish number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then we'll correct it in class. Don't worry about letter B. You're gonna just check letter A. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you very much, and see you in class. Bye-bye.